Hey, this is Joycey.
And Blake.
And welcome to
Savagely Scaled.
I'm like, wait, where's my finger?
Right there.
I was like, it's not coming out on camera. But anyways, we had to
Look for the 10 finger.
it's not even like, there you go. Ooh. Scaled. In fact, indeed, we scaled this week. Anyways, let's get started with that. I know that Blake had an amazing idea of having us start, of course, recording, but also having an opportunity to not only focus on the content, particularly of the podcast, but also focus on us as founders and I guess people who do the podcast and giving you guys an inside glimpse on our life and our goals and where we're at on a monthly basis. So we wanted the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And of course, we're starting with January.
Yep. January 2025.
Yeah. And everything that's going on. And we're in this amazing space. And it's just awesome that we're going to be doing this.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, moving up as a podcast, I guess, when I think about where we were last year and how we started and how we're doing video. And
I'd be like, there's no sound on the video, but there's sound on this. Wait, there's no sound on this, but there's sound on the video.
It's all scratchy. What's going on? We can't hear you.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah. So I'm hoping with this new year that the videos are good. And that we can start doing that.
Right. Adding more things to our podcast, getting closer to you guys, making it more intimate and up close. So it's going to be a fun year. I'm really excited. But before we delve in on that, let's talk a little bit about you, Blake. I'm going to go with Blake first because let's be real. She has more exciting things going on this month than I do. But let's get into on some of the things that you're looking forward to, goals and
so I have my meet that's at the end of the year.
Whoop, whoop.
Myself, Maggie, Heather.
But at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
Not the year.
Not the end of the year.
I was like, wait, what?
Rachel and Lindsay. So we're all going to a meet at the end of this month.
Do you know the
25th?
Day? Oh, 25th. Okay.
It's going to be in Tucson.
Ooh.
And it's my first time doing an Olympic lifting meet. I know it's Maggie's first time and Lindsay's. I believe Heather and Rachel have definitely done it. And I think they've done it at the place that we're going to.
They
Is
it a one-day event?
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm excited for it. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited for it. I'm in the middle of a cut, and it's just a different feel of a cut for me compared to like my other times cutting. I feel mentally prepared for this because I have an end goal. Right, that competition is my end goal for that cut in this section of my life of January compared to like when I've done nutrition and I don't have an end goal. It's just always I want to lose weight.
Right.
Which I feel like women, we just want that.
Standard answer.
I think the standard answer is I want to lose weight and I want to be toned, but I don't want to be bulky. Yeah. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, what does that mean?
It's
what
so
does
true.
That mean?
Because even like when I look at CrossFitter women's bodies, it's not necessarily lean or tiny, like small. Like I think of someone who's like is bulkier or a little bit more on
I'm like, well, that's what toned is, right?
Right.
And when you look at them, and I feel like when I was maybe in my 30s and early 20s, toned meant differently. It just meant like maybe my high school body.
Yeah, like just thin.
Yeah, like
but
just
not like
muscular.
Right. Like runner thin or something.
Runner thin. Like runner thin was really big. When I grew up. Like you got thin because you ran. And I feel like I'm switching over to I want to be toned. I want to be at a healthy weight. And I want to be able to lift heavy things and do things with my body, like getting up from the floor, taking care of my back, acting like I'm a 6-year-old talking about my 401k with this. But I just feel like I'm at a healthier point today because with me, it just depends what day it is. And Amanda knows that. Amanda Simmons is my nutrition coach. And if you guys haven't listened to those other episodes, it's an intro into nutrition and then what it is like to be her client. And we have those episodes with Amanda Simmons. But she knows that I can go into a dark place with it. And I feel like right now I'm working very well with the team. Me and her, checking in once a week like I always do. But texting her and letting her know something's not working out or something is. So I just feel like in a better place, especially today. Like I literally got dressed, looked in the mirror and was like, I really like how my body looks today.
Aww.
I don't get those many days, which is sad that my brain is like that. But today I feel really, really good. The last 2 days, even in the cut that I've been doing, I felt really strong. So I feel really good because I have that goal at the end to be in a certain weight class. And like
you've been working hard too. Yeah. So you're like, hell yeah, I've been working hard and it's showing, you know?
And like she said, it's temporary. And I think that that's the biggest word that we've been using is it's temporary. The only thing that sucks with some of these competitions that are weight class bearing, it's like what can be competitive and what can't. And sometimes with Blake, competition is a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing because then I can turn it into I wasn't good enough to be in that weight class or I wasn't good enough to lift and now I'm not competitive. But I also have to look at the reason why I joined weightlifting was to strengthen my body, strengthen my back, kind of slow everything down because I still love CrossFit. I still love coaching it and looking at the workouts and being like, I really want to do that workout. I'm not going to because I'm focusing on something. So I know that I will be going back to CrossFit, but I really, really like where I'm at right now with weightlifting. I just really, really like it. And who knows, like I do want to do this meet and see where it goes. And maybe like when we first sat down with Chris, I was like, oh, I can give you 6 months or a year and maybe actually be doing a year and see where I'm at and just do a year of weightlifting and really focus on lifting heavy things correctly.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm even going to like the meet.
Right.
But I do know there was a goal last year before I got hurt. I did want to do an individual competition of some sort. And this is checking that off.
That's true.
So my goal for January is I have a few of like hitting my step goals of like 10,000 to 15,000 steps, hydrating, and just knowing that this cut is temporary and it's for a good goal. And also being a great mom this month, I guess. And Joycey, like the other day, you're telling me with a lot of things that are going on with my life is patience is a really big key. So I think that's what I need to hone in on. Like every hour, I need to remind myself to have patience with a lot of new things that are happening in my life. And I think that's what the goal is going to be for January. So like having a fitness goal, a life goal, and then just a mindset goal, I think is good for us.
I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this, Blake. All right, look at her setting goals for herself. I'm like,
tomorrow I'm like, the world is ending. Everything's horrible.
I think that's great though, because it speaks to the realness of the process. Because like you said, you have your days where you're feeling great, and then you have some days where you're like, Joycey, I want to die. And it's like it's true. It's not easy what you're doing, and that's why I think it's great to take a second and like commend yourself for like, oh man, I've been doing this for weeks, and now it's showing, and it shows in my lifts, it shows in like how I'm feeling in my body. Like it's just. And then when we saw Rochelle's post not that long ago about how she's been doing it for 2.5 years,
because since consistency, that's just like. That's a life rule that I feel like you don't get when you're younger, but it is. Consistency is the key.
Yep. And I think that's the biggest challenge that a lot of people kind of jump into fitness, especially with New Year resolutions, New Year, New Me things, like a quick fix, getting it done, like just showing up and doing the gym. And that's enough to kind of get to where you want to get. And it's like, there's a little more to that. And I think you speak to it with the whole mental game too. I think that's a big aspect of it that at least, you know, for me as well, when it comes to this new year, not being so hard on myself when it comes to not making goals or not making certain, like you mentioned, weight numbers or not making certain lifts. I feel like in general, as a human being, I tend to be very hard on myself on things. And that can be like professionally, that can be socially, that can be like in various aspects of life. So for me this year, I think that one of the biggest challenges is just setting boundaries. And I feel like that goes across and just, like I said, whether it comes with like my relationships with family, with friends, and also just with work. Like, I've been working a lot, doing a lot of
You
overtime.
have.
So it's been very like, I embrace the work. Like I love work. And again, being last year, having been like my first year being single, I was like, I'm going to delve into my work and just like go hard. And it's been showing in the sense that like my boss is praising me and all these things. And it feels great. But lately it's just felt like it's been a lot. And I'm like, I just need like some time off. So part of my year is one, setting boundaries with people professionally and just to take care of me, which I guess goes with my overall goal of just prioritizing self-care.
Mhm.
And I think self-care I realize comes in many forms, and I'm learning to embrace it, particularly with nutrition. I feel like that's always my hardest thing to do every single year is like the nutrition part. I just can't get it down.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
because it's like I do love
I
food.
self-indulge. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's like my self-care usually. you
yeah,
know?
and I think that's also like how we were kind of raised like that
Mhm.
is if you're happy you eat, if you're sad you eat, if you're angry you eat. There's times though like when I have those emotions and then I don't eat. But I feel
Yeah.
like food, when we went over like body image and stuff, I think food was sometimes like that friend that was always there.
Mhm.
Like if you needed her, she was there.
Reliable,
Mhm.
comforting.
And she came in abundance if it was there.
Yeah.
And sometimes how I feel is like, oh, there's like 5 cupcakes. Oh, like I can eat one and then nobody else wants to eat it. But then I'm like, well, what if nobody else wants to eat it? Then I have to eat it. Or like, okay, one more. It's just like that relationship, good or bad, in those times has always been in our lives.
Right.
And we also have moms who do the whole like, what's the harm? Like,
Yep.
it's okay.
Let's add some butter here and
Yeah.
add some oil there.
But in the same sense, be like, oh, you're gaining some weight. Or are
Mhm.
you okay? Is everything okay? Because
it's a hard
you know-
balance.
yeah. And I feel like that's also because of the day and age that they grew up in.
Right.
But it is hard.
Setting boundaries, girl, again.
Yep.
Setting boundaries.
I did with my holidays. I came over here.
You did.
I brought my
You
own
did.
bag of coleslaw.
And you
ate
had the
all
meat
those.
though. You had
Yep,
the carne
I had the
asada.
meat and everything. And same with my mom. Like I had small portions and I told her like, hey, this is what I'm doing for me. It's not that I'm not eating,
Right.
but I have to do this. And I think for once she was like, okay, which was nice.
Yeah. I made up for her. Don't worry. Double baked potato. Oh,
But
still in my dreams, girl.
but it's like, okay, if I don't do that, what does this goal mean?
Mm-hmm.
Did it really mean anything to me? And if it didn't, then maybe my goal needs to be smaller.
Right.
If this goal doesn't mean that much to you, is it because society is making you make that goal?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like your friends, like how you were talking about boundaries with your friends. Like Joyce has sat down with me and been like, hey, that's a toxic trait. Like I need you to not do that. And coming from my Aries and my ADHD, like I just told her earlier today, I feel like when people give me information, it's criticism, but I'm trying not to do that. And I feel like with my husband and Joyce, they've really taught me that you don't have to take it as criticism and people aren't looking down on you. And if I want to maintain these friendships or relationships, that I do need to listen to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
yeah.
you have taught me really good things about boundaries.
Thanks,
because I'm nosy. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong.
We're still working on it, guys. We're still working on it. I mean, I struggle with that all the time. I think I just don't speak up for myself, and sometimes it's like I need to embrace the discomfort and be open to doing that.
I'm gonna tell you, just like I told my mom, I go, you guys are the first ones to tell me about it, but then you don't tell anybody else about your boundaries.
Yeah, because it's uncomfortable.
But
because we're people pleasers.
Just give it to Blake though, because Blake can take it.
That's true. Just don't take it as criticism.
Yeah. I'm like, how come
I get a big fireball?
Or I'm like, how come I have to have boundaries and everybody else around you doesn't?
It's chaos.
Just because I'll be like, okay,
No, I feel you, girl. And that's something that I admire from you is that like you like embrace the uncomfortable, man. Like I'm just like, dude, you just did that. And everyone's just like, oh, big eyes. Like I think of big eye emojis and you're just like, what? And I'm just like, girl.
Nobody's going to say it.
I wish I could have some of that.
Everybody's going to complain about it. Everybody's going to say it. Nobody wants to say it. I will say it.
I'm like, I need some of that fire. And then I always think like, what's the worst that can happen? You know, the worst that can happen is like they say no or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm the same person I was a few seconds ago. No big deal. And the best thing that can happen is like, you know what? You're right. Let's take on what you want to do. And you're like, all right, sweet. Like win. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. I feel like this year is more about taking those risks and like you said, taking on goals that you know you're worth the investment. And I feel like that's the hard thing too, that it speaks levels to kind of what or how we think about ourselves too. Yeah. You know, like putting goals aside or just saying, oh, we'll just start later, or we'll, you know, not focus on that. And it's also kind of eye-opening and saying like, oh, maybe I'm not prioritizing myself as much as I should. And it's kind of like, it's a little saddening a little bit when I think on that. And it's a difficult thing to do. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're going to take on this journey, like it does take a lot of work and commitment to do it. But I think it's worth every single second of it. Yeah. Even though it's hard. But I mean, we're doing our best, you know?
Yeah. I think, because like, I feel like, and people at the gym, I don't care anymore. If you don't like that I talk about signs so well. I feel like Tauruses are very loyal to people out of fault and very much in love with love and loving people. And how you were speaking to not prioritizing yourself. And it is like you do, like you'll do work and you'll prioritize work and you'll do these other things. And then sometimes when I look at you and you're just like, I'm exhausted. Like I don't want to do this. And it's like, well, you don't have to, but like in a sense, you're kind of like, she always reminds me of my mom because my mom does the same thing. And I'm like, but you don't have to. But then they're like, but that will be letting somebody down. I get in those senses too. Like I don't want to let people down and it takes somebody to do that. But I just feel like you will just hang on. And sometimes I feel like I wish I had that drive. It's just, it's like a give and take.
It is.
Right? Yeah. Like too much or not enough. What is the happy medium? And I don't know. It's just like the whole, well, tomorrow's a new day. Right. We can do tomorrow's a new day so much to where now we're just giving that as an excuse.
True.
But I feel like you should prioritize yourself more.
Oh yeah, girl. I have to. It's time. I've been working I was looking at my time off and I was like, I have way too much time off. I need to take it. So I think that's going to be kind of the focus this year, is just, again, prioritizing self-care in every possible way. Like you said, drinking more water. Because let's be real, this Christmas I went hard, guys. Like hard. Took the tamales, took the champurrado, did not look back. Just went into it. So I'm like, I'm feeling a little like, okay, let's get back on track. Let's start drinking the water. And don't get me wrong, I'm usually pretty good at it. Like I'll meal prep a meal or two for my week. But then, you know, weekend comes, let me buy myself a pizza, you know, let me go out at least for one meal. So I try to find that balance too. But like everybody, I feel like there's things I need to work on. I feel like I can hone it down a little bit more. And I guess this year I really want to work on the buns too and the core. So that's a lot of nutrition.
You have a nice butt.
Just more Brazilian, if you know what I mean. I'm thinking of that Grace video that she sent.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that seems like a person who lost a lot of weight.
Oh, she took surgery or something.
I don't know, or somebody who lost like a lot of weight, and that's where all of her extra skin.
I wish that's where my extra skin would go.
But I'm like, I don't even think that's good looking.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Would you like walking around like that every day? Like,
I mean, I do want to smack it. I'm just kidding.
Then it's going to be like a ripple effect.
Just like skipping rocks.
Yep.
We're so mean. We're just jealous of the buns.
But I did
But
walk in front of my mirror several times to try.
trying to do it.
Like, and I felt like the girl in the second video.
Yeah, I tried a little bit, but it was fun. I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. But yeah, on that note, I have been wanting to join the wellness center because I've been hearing like they have a sauna in there and some,
Yeah.
pool and machines. And I'm like, that might be a good thing to do on a Sunday when the gym is closed and I have some time on my hands. So I'm thinking,
Yeah, we don't record on Sundays.
yeah, we do, but I
Yeah.
have time after my recording to
Look at
jump
her.
in the sauna.
I'm prioritizing myself. We can only record for
Self-care.
an hour.
I am not recording. I need to go to the sauna.
Yeah.
So chop, girl.
I put an hour timer, and I'm like, we talked most of that hour.
Boundaries. Not just kidding. But no, yeah. Well, you could join me at the sauna after. Let's go,
I
girl.
could. I know.
We'll make it our self-care Sundays.
Yeah.
Ah,
We have too much to do on Sundays.
we do. We could still fit in a sauna sesh. 30 minutes before you
I
go
could
home.
probably do once a month.
It's on the way home. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Mhm. I could already see my husband.
You're going to need some self-care after the gym and coaching and everything, girl.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I don't know.
Think about
it's
it.
a different, yeah. It's
Think
a different
about it.
topic.
But yeah, anyways, that's on my
so
radar.
like what is, so I did a gym goal
Ooh.
or some sort of fitness goal.
Mm-hmm.
What is your fitness goal? It was
In January?
for January.
Joining the wellness center. I guess that would be my goal.
Okay. What is your life goal for January?
Setting boundaries.
And what is your mindset goal for January?
I think I kind of brushed on it, but just being less hard on myself would be my mindset goal. Kind of embracing the uncomfortable and embracing the journey, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know about like what goals you have just for January. We're going to try and do this for every month, setting new goals and things that we can obtain and carry on to the next month.
And hopefully
And
hold
do
ourselves
check-ins.
accountable.
Yeah. And then let us know what goals you have or any questions or things like that.
Also, on that note, can listeners watch your competition virtually? Is that an option?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look
Okay,
look
'cause
into that.
Something, maybe you'll have
That'd
some
be really
fans.
cool, huh?
Yeah. I would love that.
I'm famous. No.
We're already famous. What are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I mean, I would love that.
goal for the year.
The
is to
gym
have-
would.
Yeah.
We could support all of y'all.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Well, keep us on the loop on
Yep,
that. We
I'll
want to
definitely
know.
know.
But this was nice.
It was. It was a
It
nice
is nice.
sit down. I really hope this video turns out.
I know. Let's hope it actually recorded. It says 22
Yes.
minutes. It looks pretty successful.
Yeah. But everything else going. We'll
Yeah.
have to see.
Wish us luck, guys. Let's
Yep.
hope this works. And let us know if you like this sequence, I guess, and
Yeah.
for future upcoming months. But I guess podcast related, do we want to speak to that as well? Or hold that and save that for later?
For what?
For goals for the month?
Oh, goals for the month is to
Get a
on
calendar down.
a calendar down and to get everything for a giveaway.
Ooh, giveaway time.
Yeah,
I already
for
got some
February.
goodies for that.
Yeah. So I think that, and to hit 100 followers.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice on Spotify. We have followers on other things, but on Spotify, that would be nice to hit 100 followers on Spotify.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
We need a lot of Sharons out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't be a Karen. Be a Sharon.
That's right, guys.
And
All
then
right.
until
We meet.
at the whiteboard again.
Bye. We're the Pink Sisters.